Hi friends, welcome back. You are watching day 4 of our Focus on Wilderness collection from Mintay paper. So we're creating a beautiful accordion style album. And we're working on the third style of inserts today, and then we're also going to be covering the outside of our accordion base. So the last of our inserts are just going to be a very simple single fold, and it's going to be the size of our journal cards from the collection. So we're starting with a piece of 65-pound weight cardstock that is 4 1/8 by 6 1/4. We're scoring it at 3 1/8, and that will be the base for each of the 4 inserts, one for each of the compartments. And so I'm going to once again use my pattern paper only for the outside layer, and I've cut my journal card down to a size of 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then the matting is 3 by 4. So that gives me my 1/8 inch border all the way around for the cover. Now for the inside, I'm switching for the matting size rather than the pattern paper size so that I can get all of that area filled, and I'm just going to keep on utilizing those great journal cards. Such a great place to add writing. And then some of the offcuts as I was working along gave me the opportunity to bring in more of the beautiful background images, so I did that as well. I'm going to finish the back side with more of the journal cards, and this is going to be the process for all of these. So this particular collection was very inspiring to me. As you all know, we really enjoy camping in our family, or I should say RVing. And both of my boys were in the Boy Scouts, and they are both Eagle Scouts. So we've been around camping and backpacking and hiking for as long as we can remember. So this collection really spoke to me, as well as the beautiful watercolory images. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and this is kind of an unexpected color palette. You wouldn't necessarily think of outdoorsy images to be in a more pastel palette, but I think it works absolutely beautifully. Now these are not large inserts, but they do pack a big punch because you're going to have a lot of extra real estate to add pictures and journaling to. And I think you never can have enough space inside a mini once you start to finish it, because there's always so many things you want to include. So it does always make sense to add as many layers as you can. Here is the back of the third one. One last insert, and I will also mention these gave me the opportunity to use the full-size journal card images, and I just went through when I was picking all my layers and decided which of those were my favorite so that I could keep them whole and use them as a focal image. They were very important to me in the design, so that was important to pick them out first and then work around them. So I got to use all the ones that I really love. Okay, here is the back of our final insert. We can go ahead and tuck those in now. I cannot even begin to describe how heavy this is getting. I got through nearly the entire collection for this project, which is exactly what I wanted, to get it used up and out. But wow, is that heavy. Okay, let's work on the cover now. So I want to include a ribbon closure to keep all of these inserts secure inside here, but for this style of base, I cannot wrap it around because I don't want that lump to be on the bottom. So I'm just going to temporarily wrap it around so that I can see where the middle is on both sides. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use a pen here to mark where my ribbon will go. I can get it positioned the same for both sides. And then what I'll do is I'll just clip my ribbon in half. and then I'll tack it on in between where those lines are. So I know that I've got it in the same place for the front and the back. So I'm just tacking that down with hot glue for the moment. And then when I add the paper layers, that is what will keep it secure. Now I can work on the covers. So I'll just put my back piece on first, and this is going to be, so I'm just going to put my back piece on first, and so the matting for this is going to be 6 5/8 by 4 5/8, and then the pattern paper is going to be 6 1/2 by 4 1/2, and once again that's just going to give me the borders that I like around with the cardstock and the base. And so this is really also going to help to hold that ribbon tie in place right where I want it. And that's going to be the back. So for the front, I think it will be easier to build my layers and then add them as a single unit to the front. And so here's the same measurements, same cardstock, same border. Just think it looks a little nicer when everything is consistent, when it shows at the same time. And so here is a layering piece. This is just a bit of what is left over. I went ahead and used my matting again for all of these layers just to keep those busy patterns separate for the cover. And then I'll finish off this bottom layer with more of the beautiful plaid. And yes, I did stack 2 plaids together. I mean, I think it looks great. Here is a doily. Now this is just cut from crisp white cardstock. This is a Cherryland Designs doily die, and I'm going to top it with the image that I really liked the most from this collection, and I went ahead and put the border on that as well. It's just cut with some circle dies that are a nesting size so that I could get a good border, and then I popped that up on a spacer, so there's a little dimension for the cover. So I'll just go ahead and peel off this tape and then add it to the front. It's going to be easier for me to see if I hold it closer to myself, so just bear with me while I get this seated in place. I think we have plenty of layers on this cover that it's not going to bow at all when we get all those thick, heavy layers in. Okay, last thing we need to assemble is our flower arrangement. Okay, so here are all the flowers that I planned to arrange for the front of our project, and these are from Little Birdie Crafts. I've also got some die cut foliage here and some burlap string, and that's just going to help to fill in the arrangement. So what I want to do is use this large flower to anchor the arrangement, and I will start to build from there. Now these flowers originally had centers to them, and I did not like the color, nor did I like the bulk, so I just pulled the center right off, as it doesn't help my arrangement at all. So I just got rid of it, and now I'm going to add the other flower to this side. This really helps to balance the arrangement. I'm going to put it at a little bit of a curve because we're working around that circle. And so the next thing I want to do is take these smaller foil leaves that I cut and go ahead and pinch the leaves together at the end so that they create a little bit of depth. You can do that for the green leaves as well. This is another good way to utilize offcuts because I always have green, and so I can make all of my foliage just with different styles and types of dies. So I'm going to take one of the foil leaves and stack it on top of the green leaves. I'll take my loopy twine bow, fold it in half at the center so that I can get the right shape. Put the glue just on the back side and then add it to these leaves here and go ahead and position them while that glue is still not set. So all those loops will fall exactly where you want them to. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. This is not a very large arrangement because our project is not large, but I think it has a lot of very nice detail, and the colors work really well with the collection. So even though it's flowery, it is appropriate for a wilderness project. So here is our second set of foliage. I'm just going to pull that base over now because I want to make sure that I'm getting everything glued down right where I want it. And then also I don't want to cover too much of that image. So it helps to have a reference on when you're starting to adhere things together. So I know I want to put this one closer to the bottom, more of an angle. Don't want to cover too much of that cup. And then I'll do the same for this side. I always build my arrangements off project. It gives me an opportunity to get all the positioning exactly right and all the layers filled in how I want them before I add it to my project. Okay, last but not least are some smaller, a little bit darker flowers. Are the same color, but just a different tone of blue. And so I can just tuck these in here. That's just gonna help to fill in that corner. I'll do the same thing for the bottom. So now I've got that arrangement just how I like it. I can go ahead and add it to the front. And I'm definitely using hot glue for this because this is a very heavy arrangement and I want to make sure that it is very secure. So that is going to be the cover, the outside of our project. And I just wanted to show you really quickly before I add these back in how thick and bulky those inserts are. It's just so many layers of paper. It's so thick and chunky and heavy. So I'm gonna pop these back in and tell you that I did order this collection. This is the Wilderness collection from Mintay paper. So I picked up this collection from the Frantic Stamper. I was really very happy with their customer service and I will definitely order from them again. They packaged it beautifully and it arrived very quickly. So I'm not sponsored, but I think I would definitely advise everyone if they like the Mintay collections to go ahead and check over there. So I've alternated those tabs like I mentioned. This accordion will just tie right on up and that will keep all of those bits secure inside. Now you can decide if you want to crop your ribbon any more, but for right now I think it looks okay, and this will keep all those inserts tucked nicely inside. And I probably will go ahead and clip that, just get rid of a little bit of that length. This is beautiful satin ribbon. It's a stitched ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I think it coordinates really well. So like I mentioned, I did get through almost the entire collection. This is all that was left. There is mostly bulk in here because of the ephemera cut apart pieces. There's quite a few of those and I stacked those up. But this is all the pattern paper that was left. There's just enough probably to get through one card. Or possibly maybe a memory decks card. That would be fun as well. Oh, Lily has come down to join us in the video. So that's all for our Focus on Wilderness by Mintay paper accordion folio. I guess I'm calling it a folio. I hope that you enjoyed this style of series. I plan to bring these to you more often so that we can get more into the process and all the details of one more involved project. And I really want to be able to find the collections that inspire me to be creative and bring you a project with that. So with that, we are all finished, and I only had one piece left over that I couldn't figure out where it went, so I guess I didn't really need it after all. If you enjoyed this style of project, let me know in the comments. Also, give me a big thumbs up. Remember, you can find links to our social media sites at the top of the description. And if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join my crafty little family. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.